Okay, and then I would love to introduce our presenter this evening. Karina Barr is presenting a webinar series about family relationships. And this month we're focusing on the relationship with your spouse or your partner. Karina is a senior at Utah Valley University. She's majoring in family science, and she plans to go on to get her master's degree in marriage and family therapy. This is her second in the series. If you did miss last week, we have the webinar on our YouTube channel. You can also find that on our website at unitedangels.org. But you don't need to go to all of these. They go together, but they're also standalone. So tonight we're going to talk about the importance of dating your spouse. And I'm going to go ahead and hand the presentation over to you, Karina. Thank you so much. We're glad to have you.
Thanks, Sylvia. So welcome and welcome back to those who joined us last week. So like Sylvia said, tonight I'll be sharing with you the importance of dating your spouse or your partner. So, after we get married, we should continue putting in the same effort that we did while we were dating. So I'm here to share with you some knowledge to help educate you so that you can continue the path to building a strong relationship with your spouse or partner. So with that, let's jump in. So to start off the webinar, I'd like you to think back to the reason or reasons why you fell in love with your spouse or partner. Was it their smile? Was it their zest for life? Was it their sense of adventure? Was it one thing or was it several things? And throughout this presentation, I'd love for you to think about that. So first off, we're going to talk about Sternbergs' theory of love. There is only one happiness in life, to love and be loved. So love is a human emotion that helps us feel close to other individuals. Love comes in many different forms. So in the 1980s, Robert Sternberg, who is a famous psychologist, wanted to know how to characterize love. So after doing some testing and studying of different theories from other psychologists before him, he found that the highest form of love contains three critical components. So we have intimacy, passion, and commitment. So intimacy, when we talk about intimacy, we talk about the willingness to share your deepest feelings with another person. This could be a strong emotional or an intellectual bond with somebody else. Intimacy could also be a long-term commitment to another's well-being. Best friends would be considered an intimate type of relationship. And then there's passion. So when we talk about passion, it simply means to be physically, emotionally, romantically, and sexually attracted to another person. We may feel happy or euphoric to be around this person. And then we come to commitment. So what we mean when we talk about commitment is that you are ready to set some long-term plans or long-term goals in your relationship with somebody. Commitment doesn't necessarily just exist in romantic relationships. It can be seen in close relationships between friends and family members. It's a plan to be there for each other no matter what. So based on his findings of intimacy, passion, and commitment, Sternberg developed 8 different kinds of love. So as you follow along through these slides, you may see a pattern in how your relationship with your spouse evolved through these different kinds of love that Sternberg developed. So the first one that he discovered was non-love. So this one, it lacks all 3 elements. So there's no intimacy, there's no passion, and there's no commitment. An example of this type of love would be, casual interaction with somebody, a delivery person, or maybe somebody that you walk past by on the street. You may smile and acknowledge that person, but there's typically, that's all the feelings that you're going to have for that person. The second type of love is liking. So this one has intimacy, but it lacks passion and it lacks commitment. Sternberg viewed this type of love strictly as friendship. And then the third type of love is infatuation. So this one, it has passion, but it lacks intimacy and commitment. So we equate feelings of being love struck with this type of love. People who get butterflies in their tummy, but don't know each other enough to like each other. That's what we would consider infatuation. The fourth would be empty love. So this one has commitment, but it lacks intimacy and passion. This type of love in some cultures is the end stage of a relationship, but then in other cultures, such as those who practice arranged marriages, this could be the beginning of a relationship. The fifth type of love is romantic love. So this one has intimacy and passion, but it doesn't have commitment. This type of love that most relationships start out with. The more time you spend with each other, feelings of commitment may develop. And then we have compassionate. So this is the sixth type of love. This one has intimacy and commitment, but there is little to no passion in this type of relationship. This type of love can occur in long-term relationships where the passion isn't as high as it used to be. Those in compassionate love care deeply for each other and trust each other through good times and bad times. And then fatuous love. This is the seventh type of love. So this one has passion, it has commitment, but it lacks intimacy. Typically, we see this type of love in like whirlwind romances, where the couple is head over heels for each other, but there isn't a willingness to have a deeper connection with each other. And typically, these type of relationships don't last long term. So then the eighth and final type of love that Sternberg developed or discovered was consummate love. This type of love includes all three elements: intimacy, passion, and commitment. So this was representative of like the ideal relationship that all couples should strive for. Couples who include all three elements in their relationship have an easier time overcoming challenges and differences together. So we'll look at some of the marriage statistics in the United States provided to us from the US Census. So every year, there are over 2 million marriages in the US. The marriage rate is 6.1 per 1,000 people. So in the US, there is a trend that is showing that the marriage rate is declining. And that's attributed to people waiting longer to get married. Individuals are focusing more on education and careers. And that's why, the age of marriage in the US is increasing. And then we have the divorce rate, which is 2.7 per 1,000 people. So this number could be higher or it could be lower because only 45 states were included in this study. So So that means that the lifelong probability of a marriage ending in divorce is between 40 and 50%. There are many factors that lead to divorce, including domestic violence and infidelity. So if you and your spouse are needing help, please don't hesitate to reach out and talk to a professional. So marriage enrichment. So today there have been psychologists and sociologists that have developed different programs to help couples refocus on their relationship and help them teach them critical skills that can help keep their marriage and relationship strong, and hopefully avoid becoming a divorce statistic. So the first one we'll talk about is PrEP, which stands for the Prevention and Relationship Enhancement Program. This one was created by Dr. Howard Markman and his associates. They developed this to help couples improve their communication and problem-solving skills. Some of the key things in this program focuses on handling conflict, forgiveness, teaching speaker-listener techniques, and then just how to preserve and enhance fun, friendship, and sensuality in your relationship. The second one is called couple communication. This one was developed by Sherrod Miller and his colleagues. It focuses on mapping out issues and how to become an active listener. This program has actually helped over 600,000 couples worldwide. And then PAIRS, which stands for the Practical Application of Intimate Relationship Skills. So this one was founded by or developed by Dr. Lori Gordon. So the PAIRS program is not only used to help couples teach them communication skills, it also teaches youth or children, the importance of listening and, speaking and problem-solving skills. So I've listed 4. There are more marriage enhancement or enrichment programs out there. So if you are interested, do some research and find one that fits your needs. Some of the ones that I found in Utah, if you choose to take one of these classes. So the Utah Marriage Commission, they work with several different universities in Utah to help provide classes to couples. And so, like the Life Marriage Retreat and the Marriage Enrichment, those are done by, private couples, but they can be very expensive. So, do your research, find ones that not only fit your needs, but also your budget. This Evan Bright one, that has a lot of different ones that are coming up in Utah right now. But if you aren't in a place where you can spend money to go to one of these classes, go to the library and search for books that uses either the PrEP or the PAIRS technique. One of the books I read for one of my classes, it's called Fighting for Your Marriage, and it's actually written by the guy who did the PrEP classes. That's a really good one to sit down and read with your spouse. So when discussing how to enrich your marriage, dating your spouse is a very common aspect to help strengthen your relationship. You guys joined tonight to learn about dating ideas, but I also think it's a good reminder to teach you the reasons why dating your spouse is so important. So some of the goals for dating your spouse: keep your love alive, being available for each other, to improve the three elements that we talked about: intimacy, passion, and commitment. And most importantly, to not become a divorce statistic. So when you were dating your spouse, you took time to get to know each other and laugh and have fun together. But now that you're married, it's important to continue those conversations to get to know your spouse, past, present, and future. So the more you learn about your spouse and get to know each other, the more at ease you will feel with each other, so that when life throws you challenges, that you guys are able to handle those challenges more successfully. So what we want to do is foster a stronger marriage and relationship. So W. Bradford Wilcox and Jeffrey Dew, they published a study for the National Marriage Project called the Date Night Opportunity. And the National Marriage Project, they take studies on marriages and they help turn that information into education programs to help marriages. So in their study, they found that there are 5 ways that help couples foster stronger marriages and relationships. Couples can do this through communication, novelty, eros, commitment, and de-stress. So communication, as you take time during date night to communicate with your spouse or partner, you're able to connect on a deeper level. Just being able to talk about, dreams together, your future, goals that you have. And that also helps you enhance the passion and commitment aspect of your relationship when you do those, when you are able to communicate with each other. You've heard the phrase, the novelty is worn off. Well, novelty in a relationship, even ones that are finally aged, require excitement. Couples should use date night to, engage in activities that provide excitement and thrill. Find activities that you both enjoy or that you're interested in, such as, hiking or dancing, that provide such emotions. And then eros. So this is an element to many new relationships. You have that chemistry that excites you and makes you want to spend all your time with your new partner. But over time, that element seems to wane for most couples. So date night provides the chance to rekindle that spark and to keep the fire going. And then we have commitment. So taking the time to let your partner or your spouse know that you put your relationship above anything else. Couples who foster a sense of togetherness are much happier in their relationship. And then if you were here for last week's webinar, de-stress. So over time, the effects of stress can erode a relationship. Stress is the biggest threat to even the strongest marriage or relationship. But date night can provide couples with the ability to step back, and allow them to reconnect, and in time help a couple learn to cope with stress better. Excuse me real quick. So there are 5 areas. So these are all 5 important areas that we should strive to do during date nights, so that it will help strengthen our relationship by, allowing us to have, real quality time with each other so that we're not distracted by anything else. So let's get into some date night ideas. So we have the classic dinner and a movie. Go to your favorite restaurant. You can either dine in or do takeout, and then either go to the movies or rent a movie or watch one at home. You could do a picnic. So pack up your favorite meal, eat in the back of your car or at a park, and then bring some games to play. Iron Chef. So you would pick the secret ingredients, maybe like put a whole bunch into a hat and draw it, and that would be your secret ingredient. And then you go to the store and you split up and you set a budget and buy the ingredients that you need. And then when you get home, set a time limit and then cook. And then you guys could each judge your own dishes. Recreate your first date. So you guys can go back to where you had your first date. You could order the same thing that you ate, listen to the same music, share how you felt on your first date, and do the same activities you did the first time. Painting class. So you could take a painting class at a local craft store. There's kits that you can buy online to do like a couples painting. And then, my favorite go-to source is YouTube, because they seem to have every tutorial under the sun. You could just buy your own supplies at Michael's or Hobby Lobby, and then just find a YouTube tutorial to teach you how to paint. And then I've seen this one. I haven't done it yet. It's called Favorite Things. So you go to the store, you split up, and you have to buy 5 of your partner's favorite things. So it could be, your favorite drink, your favorite snack, something that is their favorite color, something that reminds you of them, or something that you can use every day. So you buy these gifts, and then you keep it a secret. And then when you get home, you swap the gifts. So then we have a romantic getaway. If this is possible, enlist the help of your support system. Have them take the kids away for the night. If you're comfortable with that, do couples massage, order room service, sleep, relax and enjoy your time together. Focus on rekindling your romance. So this is one that my husband and I like to do together. We like to read, uplifting or inspirational books together, relationship books. So like, the one I showed you, the Fighting for Your Marriage is a really good one. The 5 love languages is a really good one too. Or if you don't want to do a relationship book, you could find a how-to project. If you're wanting to fix something up in your house, maybe read a book together and do that project together. So, like Sylvia said earlier, the ladies over at Dating Divas have been very generous to gift us their 7 Days of Love program. So this is a week-long guide to learning how your spouse prefers to be loved. So one spouse will do 1 week, and then they'll scan the QR code again, and the other spouse can take another week. So Dating Divas is a really good website to get ideas for date nights. It's also, they have at-home kits that you can buy. And they also have like some organization kits. I used one of theirs for when I moved. It had some really good tips and things. But yeah, so they have games, gift ideas, and more on their website. So this is the gift from them. It's included in the PowerPoint. So if you just want to print that off, and then you'll have that to use. So, how can we make date night happen? Sometimes it's hard. I know I'm in school now, so my husband and I don't go on date night as much as we should or can, but lean on your support system. If you have, whether it's your parents or your siblings helping you out, make sure that you're leaving your children with somebody that you know and trust. Be proactive in finding a good babysitter. You're going to have to sacrifice time, prioritize, make, date night has to happen. If you have to schedule your dates, do that, and keep each other accountable for that. Remind each other that our date is on such and such night, and then make it a habit. Sit down once a month and plan your date nights. If you can only go out once a month, that's fine. But just keep that a habit so that that it's the second Thursday of the month. We're going out tonight, and then maybe even keeping date night on a certain day of the week so that you remember, your kids remember. And so, couples who take time at least once a week to spend time together have lower rates of divorce. Foster your relationship to help keep your romance alive. Do what you love or step out of your comfort zone and try something new. Don't hesitate to ask your support system for help, so that you guys can get that time alone and away from your kids. And then if you're setting a good example for your kids, I've heard a lot of people say that kids learn from example. If they're seeing their parents' relationship flourishing, when they're older, they'll have an easier time with their spouse. So I'm going to end this webinar on this note. So at the beginning, I asked you guys to remember the thing or things that made you fall in love with your spouse or partner. On your next date night, I'm going to challenge you to share that with each other, to reminisce on how it started. And I'll end that with, no marriage is perfect. But I feel that if we put effort into our relationships, especially by taking time to do date night, that will help strengthen our bonds with each other, and set a good example for our kids to follow someday. So thank you guys.
Thank you, Karina. Are there any questions from the parents that have joined us? Questions or any comments if you want to share anything? I know that Karina talked about some really great ideas. I know that there's some really unique challenges with, in particular, finding childcare for a child with special needs. We encourage you to share these resources if you find a great babysitter or a great agency, or a great activity that you've done, to use our members only Facebook group, where it's just our parents, it's just our members in there. It's a safe place to be able to share the information and share resources with each other. But if anyone would like to share, or if they have a question for Karina here, you're welcome to use the chat, or you can unmute your microphone and just join us that way. And I'll also just remind everyone that we do have the slides in that chat. So if you came in late or you missed the QR code, the slide deck is in there. Rebecca, did you want to participate?
I just, no, I mean, I don't know how to, we don't have money to, and we don't want to wear out our only resource. So we don't go out very often, but we try and take care of it at home.
Yeah, date night at home after the kids are in bed is a good one. That's what my husband and I usually do, because we have a teenager and we have a little kid, and so it's kind of hard to find the time. And you know, with me being in school too, it's kind of hard to find time, and then you know, to have the budget for date nights. So we do a lot of at-home date nights when the kids are in bed.
And good, I'm glad that counts.
Oh, Karina, we have a question in the chat. Is the QR code, is it good for multiple weeks? Does it expire? Because you mentioned having partners take turns using the QR code.
So I'm not 100% sure. Once you scan it, it gives you the 7 days that you'll do. I don't think it expires. I think it just gives you like the 7 days up front so that you can print off what you need for those 7 days.
Okay, is there any other questions or contributions to the group? Okay, awesome. I am going to, let's see. Oh, perfect. I know that there are a couple people who are having trouble finding the QR code in there. If you missed it, if you're not able to find it, send me an email. I'll make sure that you get that. Thanks for sending your email there in the chat. I'll make sure that we get that to you. This recording will be available. And so if you have someone that wanted to join, or if you wanted to share that QR code, we're going to post this in our YouTube channel, and we'll send out the link here. And then also you can contact me for the slide deck. Karina's next presentation is next Tuesday at 6 p.m. Karina, did you want to give us a quick blurb about what we're going to be talking about?
Yeah, so next week we're going to talk about teamwork, the importance of working with your spouse and partner to be able to, you know, manage life, but doing it as a team. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you so much. We're really excited that you're interning with us this semester. These are great informational seminars, and we're excited that you're doing a special webinar series next month in November that parents and their children will be able to watch and participate and work together on. Before we go, there is one thought here in the chat about some ideas, playing games, like board games, card games, getting takeout and watching a show. So I think all of those ideas for at-home date nights are awesome. It is, as someone shared earlier, it is difficult. You don't want to, if you have limited resources or limited babysitters, you don't want to overuse those or overspend. So I love all of these ideas that you can do at home. Karina, I love that after the kids go to bed, then you have date night. So that's awesome. I want to thank everyone for joining us, and we hope to see you next week on Tuesday. Hope you guys have a great evening, and thank you again for joining us. And thank you, Karina, for presenting and putting that together for us.
Thank you.